Hey, you guys probably know me. I'm the CEO of Potassium Studios. I also feel like I have a calling to preach. So I'm going to use both my skills and my position to talk about something I find very important. Yesterday, May 24th, 2022, there was a shooting in Texas that killed 14 people, 13 students, and one teacher, supposedly in the same room. And as always, the debate of whether we should make guns illegal for a civilian to own or not arises. One, before we start this conversation, please keep your thoughts and keep them in your thoughts and keep them in your prayers, as I will too. This is extremely important to remember and to understand. Now, let's talk about something I find extremely important. We as Americans cannot make guns illegal. And let me explain why. Since 1776, when we won our independence from Great Britain, and 1774, when our Declaration of Independence was signed, or whatever, my brain, when the Bill of Rights went into action, an amendment to the right to bear arms was initiated. Since then, and since the beginning of our country and our core values as a country, it has been stated that we have the right to bear arms. Where I'm going with this is the fact that trying to make guns illegal is going to destroy the country. It's going to tear away and tear apart the people who believe the Second Amendment to consist of the guns we even have today, and those who believe that it does not consist of the guns that we have today. It will destroy the country, and so that as an option is impossible and shall and should not be an option. Now, in regards to that, what are our options then? What are our options to stop people from committing crimes such as mass shootings and killing people exclusive from self-defense with firearms? One, let's make this very clear. The firearm does not kill people. The bullet technically would have killed the person, and the murderer is not the gun, it is the person. That is a fact. Now, in regards to that, we cannot make guns illegal. Of course, we already talked about that. Let's make this. So what are our options? We could limit the guns. Again, limiting what guns are legal and illegal will also do the same thing. I think our best option, out of all of the options, is to take and to make Americans, I think, before they can purchase a gun, have a background check, and possibly on top of that, a psyche check. The reason why I say this is because the individuals who want to own a gun should not fear having to have a background check, to have a thing that that can kill almost as fast as a blink of an eye, if not faster. The individuals who don't want a background check and are scared that their guns are going to get taken away for a background check probably should not have a gun. And even if they are responsible enough, sometimes you just, as Americans, should take a hit. Should take the hit and the fact that you're going to lose some of your freedom for protection. Welcome to America and welcome to the real world, people, where the way and the balance of these ideas, the way and the balance of freedom versus protection exists, and we are constantly having to figure it out. Yes, there's the idea that even if you were to make guns illegal or create these background checks and psyche checks, all of these, this issue won't disappear. Well, neither did when Prohibition was made, neither did alcohol. When we made weed and marijuana and all of these different drugs illegal, they did not go away. But the reduction that it caused helped. Next, another option that we could have is let teachers have guns. Now, there are people who are going to be scared to let teachers have guns. But if we implement teachers being able to have guns by their choice, they don't have to have guns in their classroom if they don't want to. It's that teacher's choice, or should be. And the principal cannot take that away. I think that if we implement both the background and psyche checks and allow teachers to have guns, then school shootings will come to such a few amount we won't have to worry about it as often. Teachers will be able to protect their classrooms, 1. 2, it will be even more dangerous and scary and a bigger problem for people who want to go in and kill these students or harm these students and teachers to do so, because teachers will have guns now. And you might, like if you're an intruder trying to harm these kids or these teachers, might die before you can even get in the school because these teachers have guns. But if you pair that with the fact that, and you pair the idea that these people have to get background checks and have to have psyche checks, then the teachers who don't pass the psyche checks, fire them, realistically. Maybe not necessarily psyche checks, but I mean both, really, backgrounds and psyche checks, because no teacher should be teaching their student if they're not a sane human being, or if they have a bad background, because they're working with children. They should not really be working with students if they have bad psyche and a bad background. So, if they don't pass both, either we can fire them, or we can just not let that individual, have a gun, or access to a gun. And for further protection, we can even have it where teachers have to get a psyche check every 2 years or every year. Of course, it would have to be free. Right? You have to have these psyche checks and these background checks free. So these psyche checks every year, every 2 years for the teachers to make sure that, they're still able to carry a gun. And I would say the same thing for people too. I think that's very important. Now, on top of that, I think that would solve a lot of the school problems. I think that would solve a lot of the bigger issues when it comes to school shootings. Psyche and background checks, and allowing teachers to have guns paired with that. Teachers cannot have guns unless we force them by law to have a background and a psyche check. I don't think it's fair not to let, I think that they have to, because one, that's going to get rid of a lot of, I think, the bad teachers for students, and it's also going to protect the students. Now, where do we go from here? I think as Americans, it is our job, our responsibility to make sure We are pushing for what we want, pushing for that right, pushing for those ideas and those things that we need to be able to protect each other. The amount of school shootings is insane. And the fact that it happened in Texas, probably the one state in America that has the most guns, the civilians have the most guns. Scary in the fact that, how many other civilians that have guns in Texas are gonna go on those rampages, but also those individuals that came and to that school had protection and was able to fight off policemen. Let me put it in perspective. If you are someone who's not mentally okay, and you have a plan that you're going to go and shoot up a school, all it takes to kill someone is to get past those policemen. But as soon as you let teachers have guns, you have to get through the teachers, you have to get through the policemen, and every single teacher that has a gun. Also, a lot of the time, those school police don't actually have guns. They only have tasers. So if you give the school police guns and all of the teachers that want a gun, they can have a gun, the chance that a person who's wanting to harm students is going to be able to get in there and is going to be able to actually hurt these kids. America, we need to wake up. Making things illegal never helped. Making weed or any drug illegal did not stop people from doing drugs. Making alcohol illegal did not stop people from drinking alcohol. Making guns illegal is not going to stop people from making or buying guns illegally. But creating restrictions helps. It helps. It's not perfect. We still have drunk drivers that we have drinkers who go and drive and kill people. We still have people who do drugs and cause accidents. But getting alcohol into kids' hands and to people who are under 21 and who don't know how to handle themselves with alcohol, a lot less. The amount of people who are doing drugs that are going to cause them to do bad things is a lot less than when before it was illegal. Percentage-wise, per population, not total amount of people, because that's not how that works. There's more people now than there was back then, especially in America. Making guns illegal will not stop. That's not an end-all solution, and it's a bad idea for American people. There's other countries that were able to implement that years ago, but especially with recent tension between the left party and the right party, right being Republicans, left being liberals, or the Democrats, whatever, same thing. And that tension, especially recent with Republicans and the "you're not going to take my gun away," just great background checks. If you're scared, and this is my final point, if you're too scared to get a background check, you're afraid you're going to lose your guns over a background check and a psyche check, you probably ought to not have a gun anyhow. Again, take the hit, be a grown-up, realize to protect your kids and other people's kids, you might not just be able to have the gun. You might just have to survive without a gun if it means to protect other kids and someone else's kids and wife or husband for teacher-wise, or just any other situation. You can, and if you're scared, I still got to protect my family though, you definitely can. Other ways. If a random robber comes into your house, the chance that he actually has a gun is really, really low. And after we do these psyche checks and these background checks, it will be even lower. So you shouldn't have to worry about them having a gun when they break into your house. There's a lot more likely chance, I feel, that an intruder into a school will have a gun than an intruder into your own home. 14 people died. The chance that there's 14 people in your house, that one is in your house and two is going to die to an intruder, very low. I doubt there's many families that have 14 people in their house and are all going to die. 14 or more, or 14 people are going to die. 14 or more people in the house and 14 people are going to die from an intruder into a house. Schools are easy targets because there's a large population, so more deaths can occur quicker because it's larger population density in that school. And so if somebody really just wants to kill someone, that's an easy target. Also, in regards to making things illegal versus limiting it, school bombings. We didn't make it necessary, we made it illegal to have bombs, to be able to make bombs, but we did that by limiting the items to make bombs. And school bombings have been a lot reduced. And I know that doesn't mean yes and no, but I find that very important to remember. So I hope you guys understand where we need to go. I hope you understand what we need to do. Let's make it happen. Now, if you've made it this far, I call upon you guys to wake up, make change, and we need to pray for America. We need to have those people in our thoughts, pray for their families as they're probably going through crazy tough time because a kid at an elementary school just died because of someone else's actions and they couldn't do anything to stop it. We need to pray for those families. We need to pray for America as things are about to change. And we also need to pray to keep God in America to help protect. Goodbye.